Renaldo Hudson went from death row to freedom. Armed with art, faith, and unwavering hope, he's now on a mission to help others.
It is tonight's cover story from WGN's Gaynor Hall.
I think that I am a really blessed person.
Free at home in Pilsen, Renaldo Hudson finds power in his paintbrush and his past.
I can never give Mr. Peterson his life back, but I can be an example to everyone that I come in contact with that beauty can't come from ashes.
Hudson was 19 years old when he was sentenced to death for killing an elderly man, Folke Peterson, in a robbery.
I actually wasn't frightened by them saying we're going to execute you. I wanted to die. I didn't feel like I had anything to live for.
His life had been filled with tragedy and trauma. First, the death of his identical twin. He left school in 6th grade. He says he couldn't read or write. He was sexually abused, and at 15, he was shot. The gunman, his 16-year-old brother.
I was the first one he shot. He shot me in the chest with a 12-gauge shotgun. And when I woke up in the hospital, I discovered that he had shot and killed my aunt, my cousin.
Hudson turned to drugs.
When I look back, actually, it really makes me sad because it's hard to think about what I now can soberly look at, the weight of the trauma. Mr. Peterson deserves so much better than what my broken, drugged, life brought to him.
In prison, after assaulting a correctional officer, he was placed in isolation. But the seeds for transformation flourished when someone gave him a tape of Minister Louis Farrakhan.
He did a speech called, "Who are you good for, or are you good for nothing?" Well, I said, you know what? I'm going to produce evidence of what a transformed life looks like.
It started with how he treated the people around him. He fell in love with Jesus and started mentoring others. He was on death row for 13 years before the announcement from then Governor George Ryan.
I'm commuting the sentence of all death row inmates, 167 of them.
I was elated, I was excited over the fact that, okay, we're not going to die. They're not going to execute us. But then reality hit.
The reality that he would still be in prison for the rest of his life without the possibility of parole. Years earlier, at the urging of a friend in prison, Hudson picked up a paintbrush for the first time.
William Bracey said to me, Renaldo, you deal with a lot of anger, and art can be very therapeutic, right? And I'm like, man, I can't paint, And he said, man, just take your time.
He says art changed the way he looked at himself.
It gave me a sense of worth, and I'm like, wow, I'd never had that.
Hudson earned certificates and degrees. He became a minister and launched the Building Block program to help other incarcerated men transform their lives. He was building relationships too and sharing his story.
He's just an incredible person. He's an incredible advocate. He's an incredible soul.
Jennifer Sobel first met Hudson in 2019, shortly after she launched the Illinois Prison Project.
So our mission is pretty simple. It's to provide support and allyship and advocacy for and alongside currently incarcerated people, both to change the narrative around long-term incarceration in this country and really explicitly to bring people home from prison.
The two developed a deep friendship.
I started to say this to Jenny, hey, don't let me die in prison.
Citing the health risks after the pandemic hit, she filed an emergency petition with the governor's office. The Cook County State's attorney did not object. And among the letters of support was one from victims' rights activist Jennifer Bishop Jenkins, calling Hudson the best candidate bar none for clemency and immediate release. The call came in August 2020.
I get on the phone, I say hello, and this still really makes me so emotional. It was Jenny Sobel. And she said, man, you're going home. Governor Pritzker granted your clemency. And I could not breathe because I didn't feel like I was more deserving than anyone else. But I did feel more committed.
Oh my God.
Hudson left Danville Correctional Center with his box of belongings. He had been in prison for 37 years.
I'm sort of like tearing up a little bit. It was a really amazing moment. And I think it signaled hope for a lot of people.
Hope is the tattoo Sobel and Hudson now share. He's working as the Illinois Prison Project's education director.
And there are so many things to learn from Renaldo, but I think the most important lesson that Renaldo's story teaches us is the power and capacity for growth, for change, and most importantly, the immense potential for good.
Potential, she says, that is not unique to him alone.
I think it's time that we really radically reimagine what our criminal legal system should look like. We just don't have a process for the robust review of incarcerated people's sentences.
And Hudson's greatest wish?
Everyone in the United States that are incarcerated be given a chance at parole. Everyone.
Last month, Truth and Beauty in the Hard Places, an exhibition featuring his artwork, wrapped up at the Logan Center for the Arts.
You know, I'm not afraid to speak.
And his paintings speak to his commitment to restorative justice and an end to mass incarceration.
We have a criminal legal system that is just soaked in systemic racism. We have a criminal legal system that takes the identity from people. It's from start to finish, right? And people have to be reconnected, reintroduced to their humanity.
In a few years, his brother will be released from prison. Hudson was never able to find relatives of Foke Peterson, but he did not hide his guilt and his remorse. Now 58 years old, he says hope is a human right at the foundation of healing.
I'm like, man, Lord, thank you. That I now can say to people, no matter how deep in the hole you are in, if you choose to trust, if you choose to do the best you can do, there's hope on the other side.
Gaynor Hall, WGN News.